Monday through Friday. If you're here for the first time, go ahead and type that number 1 in. Let us know who invited you, and we appreciate your time and attention. This prosperity mindset, not about a company, not about products, not about places or things, it's about leadership and saving souls. So we're excited about it. Good morning, Miss Patricia. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you have it in your heart to share it and invite this couple of your friends there, we would appreciate it. And we'll get started here in just a couple of minutes. Welcome to the Prosperity Mindset Live. And we're here every single Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific, designed to get our day started right. So we'll get started here in just a couple of minutes. I appreciate everybody jumping on. Miss Danielle, great lady down in VA. We appreciate you joining us this morning. That's all of them. Thanks so much for joining us. Another great day to do significant things in our life and every facet of our life. So we appreciate it. We'll get started right here in about a minute or so. Good morning, Miss Karen. All right, my good friend, good morning. We appreciate you jumping on this morning, giving us a little bit of your time and attention. And, we're here every single Monday through Friday. So having a lot of fun and changing a lot of lives. If you're learning and you're growing, you look forward to this every morning. Give us some hearts, give us some thumbs up, and let us know that you look forward to it. Ms. Salazar, good morning. Ms. Smith, good morning. Bob, Tony, my good friend, thanks so much for stopping by this morning. I appreciate it. Thanks so much. All right, this thing started. Happy Tuesday to everybody. Man, my Penguins went down last night. Overtime. You know what? I couldn't sleep, man. It is what it is. Hey, good morning, Brother Greg, Brother Ron. I see you there. My good friend, my brother, Ron Wright, my good friend. All right, Mr. Mike, Miss Miner, thanks so much. We appreciate y'all. Miss Karen invited 3 people. Thanks so much, Karen, for sharing for me. I appreciate that. All right. One of the things that's exciting about life and business, our business life and our personal life, is that we can set some goals. We can make and design our life to look like what we want it to look like. And that's so intriguing to me. Oh, Lord. As I look back and on different parts of my life, goals are everything. Goals are everything. And as a champion, and I believe everybody on here is a champion, or you wouldn't be here this morning. Good morning, Miss Wanda, Miss Cooper. Thanks so much. Champions, we focus in on our goals. We focus in on our goals and dreams. That's everything to us. Every single day we get up, we set some goals, some daily goals, some hourly goals. And we get enamored and we get so locked into those goals that that's all that matters to us. But when I was struggling, I look back when I was having some difficulty in my life, is because my goals and dreams weren't clear. And all I focused my energy was on my obstacles. My time, my energy was focused in on my obstacles. What I believed was my problem. What I believed was my issue. What I believed I needed to improve on, my weaknesses. And my whole day, my whole life got consumed with focusing on obstacles instead of my goals. And see, the power of our thoughts, they gravitate to one side or the other. They gravitate to our goals or they gravitate to our obstacles. And we as champions, we got to get our third eye, our mind's eye, focused in on the portraits of success that we want. And it's so critical. If you don't have a dream book and you don't have a vision book and things that you envision your life looking like, then your life probably doesn't look like you want it to look, because you got enamored, you got focused, you got locked in on what wasn't going well in your life or what has created resistance in your life, and you locked in on that. And that's exactly what I did. I got locked in on all these things that weren't producing what I wanted them to produce. And guess what? When my thoughts got locked in on those things, that's what I got more of, because that's where my energy was. So as a champion thinker, as a champion processor, so to speak, I got to lock my head and my heart into what I want my life to look like, my goals, my dreams, my portraits of victory. And see, when I was able to do that, then that's when the magic started happening for me. That's when things start going great for me, because I got so enamored with my goals and dreams. Then I was able to do what? Focusing on the right activities to make those dreams and goals become reality. But what we do as lay people is we focus our time on, what if it doesn't work? Well, what if I fail? What if they tell me no? What if they don't come? What if they don't join? What if they don't support me? What if they don't tell me the truth? All these different things that was going through my head. It was like one of those old, when I was a kid, me and my brothers and sisters, we would sit there and we watched the Three Stooges. Okay. And I don't know about y'all, but the Three Stooges, I'm still to this day, if I'm having a bad day or something, I put that on, it's going to make me laugh. Okay. And what I'm trying to get to is that what you envision, what you see, what you live, and your thoughts. We hear it all the time. Thoughts become things. Well, that's true. That's very true. Very true. I don't think we realize how powerful our thoughts are and where those thoughts reside. My thoughts, your thoughts have to reside at you being victorious, having success, having breakthrough. And if you don't envision that, it won't never become a reality. So in biblically, it talks about it, and I think it's in the book of Philippians. It talks about what we want our lives to look like. I think it's 4:8. I'm not mistaken. We got some biblical students on here. You guys can help me out with my thoughts because I'm all over the place with that. But it says it in there about what we should envision, what we want our lives to look like, what we should celebrate our lives to look like. And as I wake up every single morning, the first thing you get up, where's your thoughts go? Because I remember mine used to go on what I don't have, what I don't like, what hasn't went well. And by the time I got to 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, my whole mind was smoking with negative thoughts. I had smoke coming out of my ears like Herman Munster with negative thoughts. So you got to get into a champion thought process. And champions focus in on our goals. We focus in on our goals. We don't focus in on things that stop us from getting our goals. And that's what I was doing. I was sabotaging my own success by what I was thinking. Every day I got up, I started thinking about, I don't have the money for this. I don't have the car I want. I don't have the house I want. I don't have this. It was crazy because as I sat back and I started journalizing my thoughts, everything that I was thinking was negative. And you know what? There's some people that say, I'm not negative. You might think you're not negative, but all your thoughts are negative. So if your thoughts are negative, you're negative. You might not be outwardly. See, I'd rather meet somebody that's outwardly negatively thinking than somebody that's their inner thoughts are negative. Because you could have an outward negative, but think positive about you. It's kind of crazy. But the inner negative thoughts are worse than the external thoughts of negativity. Because the inner thoughts, they just seep into you. They stay there. They root themselves. And they get deeper embedded in you. So we got to change that. We got to think like champions. We got to think victorious. We got to think success. And we got to put our heads in that place every single day. And believe me, there's challenges I have that, I'm like anybody else. I have challenges probably more. But I understood that I got to focus in on what I want my life to look like from a positive perspective and not a negative one. So as you wake up, what did you think about this morning? What did you think about? Where did your thoughts go? Because your head and your heart are going to follow your thoughts. They're going to follow your thoughts. So when I get up in the morning, I say, thank God for waking me up. I'm thankful because I've been there where I didn't think I was going to get up. I couldn't even sit up on the side of the bed. I couldn't feed myself. I couldn't drink. I couldn't do anything. So now I truly understand when I get up in the morning how the biggest blessing that is. It's just being able to get up. So my thoughts immediately turn to something positive. We got to get out of this thinking of obstacles and resistance and failure We got to get out of that. We have to change our environment. And our environment starts with us. With us. And it ends with us. We can control our thoughts. Because if you control your thoughts, you control your life. You control your destiny. And once I was able to master that, and believe me, I had some challenges in my life. But I was able to focus in on what I wanted. Because if the focus was so ingrained on what I wanted, it didn't matter the obstacles that came my way. Because I was able to get through them. Around them, beside them, over them, under them, whatever way I had to. Because my thoughts were focused straight ahead on something that was successful. Something that I wanted the end result to be positive. And that's what I focus on every single day. Every single day is positive. I'm not thinking about the negative or the negative people. And there's something else to, and I say this in a loving way. There are some people in your life, in your business life, in your personal life, in your spiritual life, that you're gonna have to quarantine them. You love them, but you're going to have to love them from a distance sometimes. You're going to have to give them a time limit. It's like, I remember my grandmother growing up. I love my grandma, okay? My grandma, she taught me some incredible stories and life lessons. And I remember her taking that little timer and turning that timer to know when that bread was going to be done. That's the same way we got to put a timer on some of these people that we talk to, some of these people that we're around, because they're negative. When the timer goes off, poof, I'm out of there. I love them, but I got to love them on a timer. I can only be around them for just a short period of time because their energy will change my thoughts to obstacles, to negatives, to resistance, to lack of belief, to lack of confidence. And I can't allow that. I got to get myself out of that environment mentally, physically, spiritually, so I can have what I want. Okay? And sometimes, and I'm not trying to be facetious or funny, but we're sleeping with that person. That's even more dangerous. Because as you're sleeping, all the negativity, your vibrations are just vibrating right beside you. It's crazy. One of my old mentors told me, he said, hey man, sometimes we out here looking for the enemy and we ain't got to leave our zip code, our address. It's in the same household. Check your zip code, check your address, because our thoughts, as a champion, we got to be focusing on our goals. That's why when I hear people say, and I grew up biblical principle home, equally yoked. When I used to hear older people say that, I didn't really understand what that meant. Equally yoked means, man, they think like a champion. They got to be like a champion too. Because if you got a champion and a loser thinking up here, how's that going to work? Non-believer, believer. Unyoked, not equally yoked. Someone positive, negative, not equally yoked. Someone that don't believe in business, someone that does believe in business, not equally yoked. Somebody that's scarcity mentality, somebody that's abundantly talented, not equally yoked. It is what it is. That's half the battle in life, is finding somebody that, not that you clash with, that your goal